Hey everybody. So today, again, I'm rolling with this advanced material. You guys let me know if it's like too hard, but I'm hoping you're having fun with it instead. Today is also a little bit higher than your grade level, but not higher than you guys' intelligence level. So I just want to jump right in. You guys are going to do some character development. If anybody ever had a desire to design characters for movies or video games or anything like that, you can get a little bit more background into how they do that today. And if that's not been one of your dreams, maybe you'll find that it seems really interesting and you might want to look more into it. So here we go. So you guys will see on your assignment a copy of Character Designer, Exploring Plant Cells. You guys know that there are always very interesting and in-depth ways to look at science and how it relates to a job in the real world. Well, this particular job involves wanting to design a character for a specific type of movie and then having to do some research so you understand more about how to design that character. I don't know if you guys have seen um, Inside Out, but it was a fantastic movie. And those people had to design characters to represent like your inner feelings, right? And how they might control the way that you react to things and how one takes charge and doesn't want the other to do anything and on and on and on. Or if you ever saw Osmosis Jones, which is a bit older for you guys, but still a really good movie, they probably had to explore the functions and roles of the blood cells and medicines and things like that and how they function in your body and turn them into characters for this animated movie. So you guys are doing something very similar today, and you're going to explore plant cells and how everything inside of them functions so that you can design characters for a movie about the inside of a plant. So, once again, a character designer is a person who creates characters that are found in animated films, video games, and apps. Plant cells are made of, all plants are made of these types of cells. In fact, the most important job performed by a plant cell is photosynthesis. You may have heard that word before in many of science classes in the past, but this is kind of like a digital drawing or representation of the plant cell and what's inside of it. You'll see a couple different images to show the same thing, as long as you know that all the parts are basically there. So a plant cell is a eukaryotic cell. I know that's a funny looking word, eukaryotic. A cell that has a nucleus and it is surrounded by a membrane. In fact, animals and humans have eukaryotic cells as well. The structures inside of the plant cell, all those little things that you see making up the cell, those are called organelles. And you're going to learn more about the organelles and all their functions for your characters. So once again, a character designer creates characters that are found in animated films, video games, and apps. It's their job to decide things like a character's hair color or what clothes they'll wear. Companies like Disney, Marvel, Netflix, and so many other things you've probably heard of, they hire character designers. Character designers do not just design what the characters look like, however. They also have to develop their personalities and moods. So, as you think like a character designer and create characters for a new animated movie called Cellular City, the movie is meant to teach kids about the different parts of a plant cell. So we'll learn about the plant cells, match plant structures with their jobs, and then you can develop characters for an animated movie. So feel free to let your imagination and understanding of science take control at that part. So first, all plants are made of cells. That makes sense. The most important job performed by plant cells is photosynthesis. And that's the chemical reaction that happens when plants use water and sunlight and the carbon dioxide that we breathe out to change it into oxygen and sugar for their plant systems or bodies to eat. A plant is a eukaryotic cell, or sorry, a plant cell is. This means that it has a nucleus that's surrounded by a membrane. The plant cell has many structures within it, and these structures are called organelles. Each organelle has its own job. You can view the labeled picture of a plant cell on the right-hand side. On the next slides and in a video, we're going to learn more about each of their jobs. So here is the plant cell and the membrane. There's the nucleus, the endoplasmic reticulum. Don't worry, you guys don't have to be able to repeat all of these names. Chloroplast, lyosome, vacuole, Golgi complex, cytoplasm, cell wall and membrane, ribosome, and mitochondrion. So these slides can show you a little bit more about the cells, but I have a video that I hope will help also, and you can come back to these slides when you're designing your character in case you need to refresh your memory. Okay, we're just going to start here in about the middle. In the beginning, they talk about animal cells, and if you're interested about watching that later, I will attach this link so you can watch the whole thing if you so choose at a different time.
Trees, flowers, vegetables, or fruit are made up of plant cells. These are in charge of the growth cycle. More specifically, vegetables make their own food through photosynthesis. A plant cell is a eukaryotic cell. The nucleus is in charge of all cell functions. DNA is stored in the nucleus. DNA is made up by genes, which hold genetic information. When plants reproduce, the genetic material will pass on to the new plant. For this reason, new plants will have the same characteristics. The membrane is a layer that surrounds and protects the cell from the outside environment. The main function of the membrane is to allow food in and release waste substances. Membranes have rigid wall cells which hold up the plant. The cytoplasm is a thick solution found inside the membrane. Organelles are located in the cytoplasm. Chloroplasts are the organelles which produce and store chemical components essential to the cell. For example, chlorophyll, which gives plants their green color, is stored in the chloroplasts. Chlorophyll also plays an important role in photosynthesis. A mitochondrion is the organelle in charge of producing the energy in the cell.
So as you can see, they don't go into detail about each and every piece, but it's kind of cool to see the three-dimensional version of the cell. It's also good to note that the cells do not look like that if you were to like look at them directly. That is basically a slice, like they kind of cut into the cell so you can see what's going on the inside. So you can see that they broke into the cell for the visual representation. So we learned about the cell wall and membrane, which is why it's rigid so plants stand up on their own. It keeps the cells stiff, helps them be protected, and the cell membrane controls which substances can enter and leave the cell, which can help protect the insides. The nucleus, which contains and protects the genetic material, or the DNA, it tells the entire cell how to function and helps with reproduction. So we have lots of new plants. Mitochondrion, they take in nutrients from the cell and break them down to create the energy so they can work properly. Kind of like in your body, how your stomach takes in that energy and then the blood cells take it and disperse it throughout your body so you can function. A ribosome, they help create protein. The endoplasmic reticulum moves the proteins around the cell and also removes them from the cell. So again, these are the endoplasmic reticulum and the mitochondrion. They kind of represent our blood cells in a way. Chloroplasts, as they said, that is where the photosynthesis takes place, and they help provide the chloroplasm or the chlorophyll, that gives the plants their green color. The lyosome, the digestive portion of the cell that creates enzymes and gets rid of the unneeded or damaged cell parts. Oh, that's kind of cool. So if you ever notice plants dropping their own flowers and leaves when they're unnecessary, it's probably because this thing is saying, hey, get rid of that, it's damaged. Vacuole stores waste and water. Golgi complex. Oh, sorry. So I guess the vacuole is kind of like the bladder. Golgi complex, kind of a funny name, sorts and packages molecules that enter the cell and transport them to the area of the cell they're needed, also like a blood cell. And cytoplasm, which is that thick solution that fills the cell and is kept in by the cell membrane. I wonder if that's what comes out. Like if you've ever like broken a flower and you end up with that stuff on your fingers, I wonder if it's cytoplasm. So you can go back to those slides 9 and 10 if you guys need it to help you sort these different plant cell functions or see, look, I forgot too. Those are called the organelles. That was it. So if you need help sorting the organelles, you can go back to those slides. You're just going to drag the picture into the box that matches the definition to check your understanding, and then you should be all clear to come up with your characters. So you guys can pause me here, sort, work with your teammates, help each other out, figure out where everything goes. Remember, there are 2 pages, so you can put all of the organelles in their right box. So how did it go? Did you figure out where everything goes? All right, let's see, test you out. What creates protein? Well, if you had to go back and check, you're looking for information. Oh, and you guys had it right, ribosomes. So I would drag the ribosome into this box. Let's try. What contains and protects the genetic material which tells the entire cell how to function? You got it, the nucleus, and you know that's my favorite because they made it purple. And let's try one more on the next page. What sorts and packages molecules that enter the cell and transports them to the part of the cell that they are needed? I believe it's the Golgi complex. Is that what you got? We check here, sorts and packages, and you guys are on point. So as long as you finish the rest of them and you've got it all set, then you should be ready for the next section. So get ready to develop characters for your animated movie. You'll be a character designer and you need to create the characters for the movie called Cellular City. The movie will be about a human cell that is turned into a city. I believe they meant plant cell. Each of the organelles in the cell will become a person who works in the city. kind of like B movie, or like I said, Osmosis Jones. You're going to give each of the organelles a personality, if that makes sense. So you kind of give them, personify them, give them human characteristics, but make sure that they are staying true to their job as a plant cell organelle. So you can design character cards for 5 different organelles. A character card has information about the character's job, personality, and what it would look like. Your character cards must have the following: the job that that person or organelle completes in the city. The job should be related to how the organelle functions in the cell. Description of the job and tasks the person does while on the job. Personality traits the person might have, such as being friendly, smart, or hardworking. This personality trait should also relate to the job that they have as an organelle. So to the right, you have an example for the nucleus. The nucleus would maybe be the mayor of this city. The job of the job that this mayor or nucleus does, he's in charge of the city and tells all the people what to do. The mayor also helps to write laws and tells the people in the city what they can and cannot do, like how fast they can drive. He's outgoing, strong-willed, caring, and ambitious. So, those are some pretty big words. If you don't know those off the bat, come up with words that you do. Or feel free to look up words in a dictionary. So you've got 2 of the cards here. You're going to fill in the character cards as best you can. You can pick 4 of the organelles that you learned about above. Since the nucleus is already done for us, 1 out of the 5. So 2 can go on this slide and 2 more can go on the next one. Again, you've got lots of options for whichever organelle you'd like to use. Think about which one's your favorite or which ones you think are easiest to turn into people. And then talk about their job. It can be types of jobs that we have here in our land, right? Like mayors or police officers. They could be bus drivers, teachers. Think about what their job might be if they had turned into people. If you want afterward or you find yourself with extra time, you can use the computer or a piece of scratch paper and draw your character out. I'll give you guys some time here. Pause me, make sure you guys finish all your wonderful characters. And then if you have extra time, you can unpause and try the optional activities. So here's the optional building activity. You can build a plant cell, kind of like you would build a model for school, just to represent what you know and help it solidify in your brain. But again, this is optional. It is not a mandatory project. You can use materials that you have to build a plant cell. Just want to make sure your plant cell includes all the organelles that you learned about. You can use paper, tape, different colors and crayons. If you don't build it up to be 3-dimensional, you can, again, draw a plant cell on paper. You can also use different art supplies and recyclables. Maybe if you use like a piece of Tupperware to represent the cell membrane, and then throw in a stress ball to be the nucleus, or whatever you have lying around. You can make a ball of paper, pipe cleaners, cut up little fluff balls. Use the styrofoam peanuts that come in packages. I don't know, whatever you have lying around, you can color it, paint it, label it, make it into your plant cell. And then of course, I would love to see if you guys do manage to build your own plant cell. Take a picture and share it on the site for everybody to see. I hope this was interesting, if not fun. But give me feedback. Is there anything you guys would like to learn about? I can see if I can find an activity or a video, or we can make something for you guys to do. And again, miss you guys. Hope you're having a great year. Keep going strong. I'll see you soon. Bye.